Go ahead and call to order the April 4th meeting of the school board. You guys to pledge allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
For the board's information and the public information, Emily and I both attended a meeting last Friday with the town administrator and Selectman Hennessy. Felt like it was a productive conversation, something we plan to do quarterly moving forward at a minimum, just to build collaboration between the town and the school and try to build some more collaboration with some of the other town communities as well. So more to come on that, but I thought it was a positive step forward. Next item on the agenda is to approve the minutes for the March 19th and March 28th meetings.
I move we approve the minutes as written.
Motion's been made and seconded by Mary. All in favor? That is unanimous. There will be one adjustment to the agenda this evening. We do need to add an executive session. And it will be to discuss a personnel issue. We'll get the full citation before we go in. Item 6, public comment. Seeing none. Item 7, 7.1, policy committee. We do have one revision to a policy on the agenda this evening. Otherwise, status quo. 7.2, technology committee.
No.
7.3, facilities committee.
No.
7.4, we reviewed and signed payroll on March 20 and 4/2. And we reviewed and signed AP on March 7th and March 23rd. Brings us to item 8, superintendent's report.
Okay, so very briefly, in looking at our financial report, with 25% of the year, there's 45% of our budget remaining. We're in good shape. I would like to just point out that once we remove the amount of money that's been designated for carryover, we have 38% of our budget remaining, just to keep that in mind. And then, of course, we have still a quarter of the year's bills and tuition and busing and some big items to pay for, but we're tracking well. If you go through each of the line items, there's nothing that really seems to be concerning to me, other than perhaps electricity is slightly overspent. Which is ironic given that we had a week with no power. But that's something that we'll need to continue to watch because I did not budget for more electricity. Our overall maintenance lines are tracking fine, and so it won't matter in the big scheme of things, but that's just a number that jumped out at me as a surprise.
Let me, quick comment is that CMP has come under a lot of pressure from the state legislature because a large number of consumers are complaining that their post-storm electrical bills are unusually, abnormally high, enough to raise serious questions in the state legislature.
And we don't seem to be high overall in the building, but our utility lights seem to be high out on the street. So it's just something to just be aware of, that I did not increase that amount in the budget, and just need to figure out why we're over. In terms of district updates, because we have been meeting weekly and continue to meet weekly for the next few weeks, just a few updates this week. That is to let you know that MEA testing is almost completely through. It's run seamlessly. The 3rd and 5th grades just have one test left that they'll finish up tomorrow and Friday. I want to thank Mr. Bodish for ensuring that the technical side of things was running smoothly. We've had virtually no glitches. It's been very, very smooth. The 5th grade open house at the Maine Maritime Museum took place last Thursday, and it was packed. I think every child had at least one family member there to see their work, and I was really thoroughly impressed with the way that the students could answer my questions. And I had several of them show me around, and they all had different things that they had to point out, and we'd ask them questions about, I asked one child about why are you using these nails? He went into this big lesson on oxidation. Like it was really quite amazing. When we talk about the scientific transfer of knowledge, they demonstrated it over and over and over in the conversations during the open house. There was a newspaper reporter there, and I have included in your packet the article from the Postal Journal, but he said after interviewing a couple of our students that he interviews high school students, and he's never interviewed students who are more knowledgeable and articulate than our fifth grade students were. So that was quite good feedback for them to hear and us to hear. I want to just give you one more reminder that tomorrow at 5:30, the Kennebec Estuary Land Trust is having their annual open house, and 2 of our teachers and students will be presenting there. Mrs. Harris, our first grade teacher, Mrs. Sawyer, our third grade teacher, will be there with students to share their work and their community partnership with KELT. And I will say that KELT also asked me to do a keynote speech for them this time around, which was really nice and to be able to be asked. But it also is at the same time as Battle of the Books, which I had already committed to. That is also tomorrow night at 6:30 at Bath Middle School. We have 3 student teams and a teacher team that will be participating at Battle of the Books. And then next Thursday will be the spring student-led conferences. Students will be well prepared for that. We'll come back from April break, and it'll be a very full couple of months left before the end of the year. So that is all I have for district updates at this time.
Thank you. Any board questions? Seeing none. 9.1, review of policy JFABD, admission of homeless students.
So the admission of homeless student policy is one that we have had in place, I think really since the beginning of becoming our own district. But when we had the beginning part of our ESEA review and they had to do a desk audit, they'll come in later in the school year to meet in person. One thing that we did not have in our policy was a process for how to handle a dispute if we do not agree with either a family or with another school district about a homeless student's status of being homeless or not. And so if you turn to page 3, you'll see now there is a dispute resolution process that starts with what the dispute would look like and what the parents need to do if they want to dispute the decision about whether or not the student is homeless. What the first step is, being able to connect with the district homeless liaison. Then if you're unsatisfied with the district homeless liaison's decision, the next step is communicating with the superintendent. If you're not satisfied with the superintendent's decision, then you go to the Board of Education, Department of Education, and then their homeless coordinator will make a final binding decision. So this lays out what the dispute process would look like in the event a family is trying to enroll as homeless and their paperwork doesn't match up with that statement.
And we will accept the amended policy.
Motion by Bob,
I'll second that.
second by Ashley. Discussion? All in favor? Brings us to 9.2, the budget. Emily and I have spent a fair bit of time working on this document over the last week, and we do have a couple of recommendations for the board to consider, and then we can, we'll take them one at a time, vote on them, yay or nay, and then certainly we'll work on the other ideas. We looked at tuition. There was a fair bit of discussion on tuition at our last meeting. Based on current head counts and past practice, we would propose to the board that we budget at +3 head count and a 4% increase. Making that change would reduce the budget by $50,108.92.
Yeah, just add that that is current enrollment as of Monday, so it includes all the questions we had last week.
Can you repeat the reduction amount?
$50,108.92.
Thank you. And that was a 3%
Plus
count,
3.
plus 3 at 4%.
Correct.
Okay, thank you.
for both tiers.
Isn't that where we left it at the last meeting?
We haven't made a decision.
Yeah, we were
though.
talking about a
We
bunch of
talked
different
about it.
Yeah.
scenarios, but
The 3%, yeah, 3 people, yeah. You want a motion? I move that we accept the adjustment in tuition, so that it reflects the minus 50,108.92.
Second.
motion's been made and seconded. Any discussion? All in favor? That is unanimous. We also, since our last meeting, got in the new insurance rates, and based on that, some analysis on local entitlement, we think we are confident that we can reduce the insurance lines by a sum of $11,694.52. Again, it's $11,694.52.
Make a motion that we accept the insurance reduction.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Discussion? All in favor? That is unanimous. We also are comfortable bringing forward to the board that we reduce an Ed Tech 2 position by 14.5 hours per week, which is a savings of $10,133.76. $10,133.76.
And what's the hourly reduction, or the hours of reduction, did you say?
It's 4.5 hours per week. I'm sorry, 14.5 hours per week.
That's an ed tech that's already here, reducing their hours?
No, it's a position that was vacated and not refilled, but is still in the budget for, anticipation of need that we haven't filled this year. And so we will propose that we would.
Okay, I move that we accept the 4.5 hour per week figure with the savings of $10,133.76.
14.5. 14.5.
14.
I will second that motion.
Motion made and seconded. Discussion? All in favor? It's unanimous. And looking at trends on the repairs and maintenance line, we would be comfortable recommending to the board that we reduce that by $5,000.
I move we reduce the repairs maintenance amount by $5,000.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Any discussion? All in favor? So based on those four actions, we've reduced the budget by another $76,937.20. The total proposed budget would become $3,704,340.07, which is an increase of $20,377.10, or a 0.55% increase. The local contribution would become $3,148,055.45, which is an increase of $49,444.94, or an increase of 1.67%.
Would you give me the local contribution number again?
The new local contribution with these changes would be $3,148,055.45. Any other thoughts or discussion items on the budget?
only that in a lot of ways it's rather remarkable. I particularly applaud the getting the, where were we, 3.4% originally?
The original proposal,
It was 7, but I
It was
remember.
7.
7.4?
7.34 was the original.
Yeah,
increase
down
in
to
local contribution.
0.55. I think that's wonderful.
Yeah, 7.24. I think when you look around at the towns in the area and what their schools are proposing for their budgets and the increases, this is very decent.
Especially in a contract negotiating year.
Well, and so the salaries are going to increase, and yet despite the increase in the impact of salaries on budget, I think to keep that to 0.55% is almost amazing.
No other,
Nice work.
you too. No other budget items, we'll move on to item 10, public comment.
Nice work.
You too.
You too.
Seeing no other public comment, our next meeting will be next Wednesday at 6:30, which will be the second and final reading of the budget and final adoption. We will also have a special meeting on Wednesday, April 25th at 6:30, where we will approve the warrants. And then, of course, our regular May meeting will be May 2nd at 6:30 here in the library. At this point,
Interject, will you get the revised budget numbers out to us?
and we also will be having a joint workshop with the Board of Selectmen and the Budget Advisory Committee on Monday night. You're certainly welcome to attend, your attendance is not required. Finance Committee will be there to represent the board. Certainly welcome to attend if you'd like. At this point, I will make a motion that we enter into executive session pursuant to Title I, Chapter 13, Section 4056A of the MRSA for the purpose of discussing a personnel issue.
Second that.
Motion's been made and seconded, all in favor? We are in executive session. Okay, we are back in regular session. At this point, I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Motion's been made and seconded, all in favor? That is unanimous, we are adjourned. Thank you, everybody.